Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents Marvel Monday. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with the Marvel 85th Anniversary Marvel Legends Series Odin, the All-Father. Let's get into it! Let's begin with a look at the packaging. And here on the top we have celebrating 85 years of Marvel. So Marvel, 85th anniversary logo there on the top. Marvel Legends Series warning! Don't stick things in your pie hole if they don't belong there. Nice big window showcasing the All-Father and his accessories. Marvel celebrating 85 years. 4 and up! Hasbro print on the bottom, small print, fine print, legalese print, made in China print, symbols I'm not going to learn, and a barcode with another little number under there. On this side, Marvel Legends Series and Marvel celebrating 85 years. I don't know why I was going to say 85th years. I don't know. But anyway, there it is. And then a piece of a window, I guess, to let some light in from this side. And then on this side, some nice artwork of the All-Father himself, celebrating 85 years of Marvel. And I did forget to say, it says Odin right there on the side of the packaging of the front. On the back, Marvel Legends Series Odin, nice, big, large artwork of the All-Father himself. Odin, King of Asgard, uses his immense wisdom and skills as a warrior to defend the realms as the All-Father. And there it is again, in some other languages. Warning, attention, Achtung, don't stick things in any language pie hole that do not belong there. Don't give this to babies. Includes figure and 8 pieces. Attention, especially don't stick it in your French pie hole. Marvel print, small print, fine print, legalese print, made in China print, Hasbro print. And that, my friends, is a look at the packaging. Let's take a look at the figure and his accessories. And first off, we have handy dandy tweezers here, and we'll start by taking a look at Odin's 2 crows, Hugin and Munnin, I do believe are their names according to mythology and even Marvel comic books. Nice sculpted detail, all sculpted in black plastic. And I do believe these 2 pieces are the only reuse in this set. And they, of course, came with Herald of Galactus Thor, All-Father Thor, you know, whatever you want to call him. And we have one that's sitting and one that is preparing to fly away or to land. So, nice additions and appropriate for this figure. Next up we have Odin's sword, which is not to be confused with the Odin sword, which is something completely different and universe shattering. So it looks like the blade is molded in the silvery gray plastic, and then, well, it looks like all of it's probably molded in that. And then we've got these nice gold paint apps here. Nice paint app here in the middle that looks like a jewel, perhaps. And then nice paint apps on the hilt and pommel as well. So very nice, very kingly sword. And next up we have Odin's spear, which is called Gungnir. And I want to say, okay, I said the birds were the only reuse, but I believe this piece may be reused as well. But nevertheless, it's molded in this gold plastic, but it's not the swirly twirly, because I don't see any swirly twirlies in there. So, nice even coloring for this one. Lots of nice molded details in there as well. Here. And on the bottom of it as well. So very nice, kingly, Asgardian-ish spear. Next up, he does come with a set of alternate hands. This one is a fist, and you don't want to see that one coming at you. Nice molded details. It does kind of remind me of the Destroyer's hands, but I think it's got a lot more details on it than Destroyer's hands do. This one is molded in that swirly twirly gold plastic, and it is on in and out hinge. For his other hand, again molded in that swirly twirly plastic in and out hinge. Nice molded details, and it's the kind of reaching out or splayed finger claw type hand. So very nice, very Odin-y. Like this entire set, very comic book Odin to me. Here we have one of his alternate headdresses, I guess, or helmets. And this one has got these nice big curly horns on it. These gold and, is it black? Paint apps on it. And they may be separate pieces glued in here. Yeah, these are separate pieces glued in here. So the horns are probably molded in like this off-white bone color. And then the straps, the gold, you know, those are the paint apps. And then the helmet itself molded in the swirly twirly gold plastic, and you'll see it's got some pieces in here where it connects to his all-fathery head. Here is his other helmet, my favorite headpiece out of this, and it's all, you know, the whole helmet is gold, horns and all, birds, everything. It's all gold, and it is that swirly twirly gold plastic. And then it also has some hair included on this one. You can see it's got a bit of a wash to it there, so that's very nice. And then, you know, how it connects up in there. It's got some little pegs on the side and this big tab thing. Yeah, but anyway, we'll get to that in just a bit. Now let's take a look at the All-Father himself. And I have to say, I've been waiting a really long time for a good comic accurate Odin, and I think this one fits the bill. Even if, I don't know, the overall style of it feels much more Walt Simonson to me, which is fine because that's probably one of the best runs in the Thor books. So the overall feel of it is really Simonson, but I think proportion wise this one really feels, and even though it is, you know, it's in proportion, but to me, proportion-wise, this feels much more Kirby-esque, perhaps, is the correct term. So, you know, a little bit of this and a little bit of that from both artists, I think. And while I do love this so far, I would really like for Hasbro to go back and do a very much more Kirby-esque version of Odin as well. So here, you know, we've got his hair, it's got that wash in it, the beard as well. It's got that nice gold for his eye patch, his eyebrows, his eye. It's a good eye. It's that kind of icy blue looking color to me, and it really stands out. Not as much as if it were a brighter blue, but it does really stand out. Got lots of nice molded detail, I mean, just throughout this entire figure. So here's like the fuzzy shoulder piece, I guess. I don't know exactly what you call it. And soft goods cape. The only thing missing from this cape is a little bit of wire Hasbro. You're almost there. Getting there. Getting there. So it looks like the chest is molded in this gold color. Or is it more green? So this is really a bright gold. This is more like a dull gold, or maybe it's green. Don't make fun of handicapped people. I am colorblind. So got maybe 2 tones of gold, or maybe this is more greenish than gold. But anyway, so paint apps here, paint apps down here. It looks really, really great. And just the colors on this figure, period. You know, this looks great. I think not the foreground, but the background of this is the paint app. So that's really, really cool looking. And I just love the design of this one overall. And again, like I said, the design of this one feels much more Walt Simonson to me than Kirby-esque. And I really like a Kirby version as well. So we'll get to changing out the headdresses and stuff in a minute. Hands, pretty simple. Pop the old ones off, pop the new ones in. Not a big deal. So, but let's talk about his articulation. Now, this piece, the hair actually goes up under this piece, and you can pull this piece off, but if you pull this piece off, cape comes off too. It's not attached, but there's nothing to hold it on. These shoulder pads, however, are not removable. They are on, they're designed where they have the little tab piece going down, and then the arm pins through it, so they turn, you know, with the figure. So, but anyway, at the head, he doesn't look up much. He doesn't really look down. He doesn't, his head nods a little bit. He doesn't really have chicken neck. Got a little bit of tilt. Now, I'm sure it's better with this off or with the hair off, but, you know, so he doesn't really turn his head either. So at the shoulders, if you can get a hold of stuff, I said, yeah, this piece does, well, it's supposed to rotate, but it's like it gets stuck right there. But the arm will rotate a full 360 degrees there. He can raise his arm up approximately 90 degrees. It's pretty darn close. Cut here at the upper bicep. Well, I say there's a cut there, but it doesn't really want to rotate. What is going on, Odin? Let's see if that helps. There we go. So bend his elbow a little bit and you can get that bend. This whole bicep piece actually feels like a separate piece. It is. It does. It rotates on its own there. So single hinged elbow. I thought it would maybe swivel around, but no, it really doesn't. And it gives you that much bend, so not even close to 90, maybe about 45. But you know, I think this is catching it a lot. And also, they don't like to do double hinges in the elbows and knees of these oversized figures usually, or at least elbows, because there's a double hinge knee. So, but it is a pinless elbow. 360 degrees of rotation at the wrist on an up and down hinge. The other side is up and down hinge as well. So, where's the cut? Okay, so there's no cut in the upper torso. So there is a waist cut, and I do believe, yeah, it's on a dumbbell or a ball joint. So he's got plenty of hula going on there. He can lean left and right, and boy, can he. He can lean back that far, because you need to when you go to throw in that big old spear. And he can lean forward that far. So not a lot there, but enough. He also rotates 360 degrees there as well. At the hips, The joints actually allow for that much of the splits. This is not hindering it at all. It does move out of the way, at least for the splits. He can kick forward that far, and again, that's as far as the joint actually goes. This is not hindering that any. And then back, his feet, his legs do not go back at all. There is a cut here at the upper thigh, and it does give you full 360 degrees of rotation. He does have a, dang gummit, it's tight. I thought I'd loosen this thing up. So he does have a double hinged pinless knee, and that is the complete range of motion on it. So even for a double hinged knee, not the greatest range of movement there. It may have been better to do this one as a hinge and swivel. I'm not sure, but then I would have complained that it was a hinge and swivel. So nothing in the lower leg. At the ankle, tilts down that far. It tilts up that far, and tight detents on it too. He does have forward-facing pin for rocker, and the detents, you can feel the detents in there as well. Now, what I was talking about, this furry piece, it comes off, and you can see it does have two little posts in there. They match up with these ports here on his shoulders, and you can undo the cape. And we'll get a better look at this soft goods. It's got a pleat in it that goes down here, and it's sewn here at the top, but not so much all the way down. So over time, that pleat may come out of it. So there we kind of get a better look at the back of the figure, and they didn't skimp out on the painting here either. I think this is a fantastic looking Odin. So in order to change the headdresses out, this just hairpiece, it does come off, and you can see there's a little indentation there on both sides of his head, and there's a port and a slot there on the top of his head, which matches up to all of that. So you set that to the side, and then this piece, all his hair, I guess, tucks into this piece, supposedly, when he's wearing this, and it feels a little bit loose to me. And I think this one is more like you don't wear the cape with it, and maybe this is like his battle helm. So it's a nice looking piece. I do like it. I do like the fact that it comes with it. This one, however, is my favorite. This is like his kingly, all-fatherly crown, battle helm, and everything all in one. And this is probably the piece that I will keep on him, and it's just very, very cool looking. And then once you get that one on there, of course, you know, the hair here, and the cape could actually go under the hair if you want it to. It doesn't have to. I think it may lay a little better this way, and then, you know, the fuzzy piece goes back on here, and it just ports in, and there you go. As far as storage of anything, he you know, he has to hold his weapons or have them by his throne, and it's not, Gungnir is not the easiest to get in this hand, but as far as the other sword, or as far as the other weapon goes, which is the sword, it just kind of, you just kind of slide it in there. Now I will say his grip for this is kind of loose till you get to this spiky area, So there is that. Now, as far as the birds go, I wish they would, like, there was a perch for them, but, you know, you can kind of balance them up there, stick the feet up under the furry piece there. And they're telling Odin all kinds of secrets. And there you have it, my friends. A look at the figure and his accessories. It's time for my favorite part of a review, comparisons. And here we have the Marvel Legends Series Deluxe Odin, with the only other Odin-esque figure that I have, which is the, I believe it was called the All-Father Build-A-Figure, because it had an All-Father Thor head as well as this more Odin-esque looking head. And he was from, of course, the All-Father Build-A-Figure wave. Here we have all the way in the back the Marvel Legends Series Deluxe Odin with his two sons. The Marvel Legends Series retro carded God of Lies, God of Mischief, God of Evil, Loki. And the Marvel Legends Series 80th Anniversary Thor, God of Thunder. Here we have the Marvel Legends Series Deluxe Odin with the Marvel Legends Series The Destroyer from the Destroyer and Thor 2-pack, and the Walmart exclusive Marvel Legends Series Ulik, King of the Trolls, which he was king of for a very short time. For our final set of comparisons, here we have the Marvel Legends Series Odin, with from the Marvel Legends series making his cameo appearance, Stan the Man Lee from G.I. Joe Classified series, the Hasbro Pulse exclusive Regal variant Cobra Commander from Star Wars The Black Series, the Archive Edition 501st Legion Clone Trooper, and for a 7-inch scale comparison from the Masters of the Universe Masterverse line, the 40th Anniversary He-Man. For final thoughts on the Marvel Legends Series Deluxe release of Odin, the All-Father of Asgard, I have to say, for the most part, I am really, really pleased with this release. And as I mentioned earlier, the overall design to me feels much more Walt Simonson, but the proportions to me feel a bit more Kirby-esque. So, you know, I would like to see them not re-release this figure, but to do a totally different figure of Odin, much more in his Kirby-esque look. And that's not to say I don't like this one, because I do really like this one. It's just I want not just a Simonson version of Odin, but the Kirby version of Odin as well. And you know, that's the only other Odin I need is a Kirby style, more Kirby styled Odin than this one. But again, overall, I'm really pleased on this one. I love the way that it looks. I love that they have the soft goods cape, so that, you know, those of us who are talented, I'm not saying that's me, because it's not, talented enough, you know, you can make your own Asgardian throne for Odin and have him sit upon it. So, you know, whether you build it out of styrofoam or you 3D print it or whatever, that is an option for you know, those of us who are talented enough and who have, you know, that equipment to do that stuff with. Very, very cool to do that. And this Odin, I really believe this Odin deserves a throne, because he looks every bit the king of Asgard. I do like that, well, not necessarily that they went swapping out wigs and hair pieces and headdresses rather than the entire head, but I understand that that's a cost-saving feature, and we get, you know, 3 looks for the price of 1 for this figure, as far as, you know, 2 different helmets and 1 unhelmeted head look. So, you know, we get all 3 of those for the price of 1. I understand, you know, that's, you know, it's probably cheaper all the way around to do it that way rather than to, you know, do the head 3 separate times, or 4 separate times. No, 3 separate times. So there's that, and it's not, like I said, it's not an issue. I like that they were able to do that, and we get 3 looks instead of 2 or even just 1, you know. So we have options, and options are usually good for the most part. The Gungnir spear is the one, I think it originally came with the Allfather Build-A-Figure. I think that was the first time we got this mold. We may have seen it again somewhere along the way, possibly even with the MCU Odin, but I don't have that one, so I'm not really speaking from experience with that. He also comes with this sword. It's not the Odin sword, at least not how it's depicted in the comic books, because Odin sword is like this really, really huge sword that very few people can actually move, let alone draw from its sheath. And it's said, you know, in the legend that when the Odin sword is drawn from its sheath, that the end times are upon us. And one of the few beings, you know, Odin can pull it. Thor can almost pull it. And I think he moved it like an inch one time. But really the one who's supposed to get it and end everything is Surtur, the fire demon. And he darn sure got close a couple of times. So, you know, and I really had to say, until, you know, a few years ago, I really wasn't all that into the Thor comics. And I don't know why, because going back and reading them, I was really impressed for the most part. Now, there were a few, you know, there were, just like any other comic, there's some stories in there that are just not real great, but for the most part, it was a very, very enjoyable read up until, like, you know, like the last 12 or 13 issues of it, when they were going full 90s extreme everything and let's change everything up. Dark time for Marvel Comics there. Well, that does it for the review. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view that I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. If you are interested in supporting my channel further, I'm now offering memberships at various tiers. Click the join button on my YouTube page, or check this video's description for the link and see if any membership offers are right for you, but only if you are in a position to do so. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you would like to see more content or just help the channel grow, or both. That's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.